It's very difficult to do this without swearing.
Okay,
very difficult to do this without
hovering
abusing
over the
people.
dump button.
So I'm trying to be measured. It's very, very hard because I'm very angry.
Yes.
It's a massive mistake. It's a massive error. Whether he left or whether they wanted him out, it's a massive error. And it's just so frustrating. I've got a load of notes. I think it's probably best just to sort of get through them because,
crazed stream of consciousness
because this
madness.
is how you feel. You're so frustrated. Chelsea's structure, for a start, let's start with that. They've got 3 owners, 3 people who, let's be honest, know less. When it's a full stadium of 42,000 people, they're the 3 people who know less about football than anybody else in that stadium.
Right.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
They didn't grow up with the game. They don't know the game. And then we've got these faceless sporting directors, Winstanley and Stewart, or is it Coco the Clown and Charlie Caroli? Who...
Nice contemporary reference.
Well, I know. As far as I can see, they're just...
Ask your granddad, kids.
Classic British management. It's backside covering, blame shifting, sucking up to the boss, all of that. They gave Pochettino an unbalanced squad with young players, no striker to speak of. From a position of firing 3 managers, they were 12th. It was the worst season in the club's history, and he turned it around. I don't know what these people want. Look at other clubs. Look at Pep and Begiristain. Look at Arteta and Edu. Emery and Monchi. It goes on and on. That's what works in football. Why do these people, they're so arrogant, they think they can reinvent the wheel. What do they want? They want a yes man. That's what they want. They want a patsy. They don't want a proper manager. They don't want anybody that stands up to them. And what? I just think who would want this job? I don't think anybody would want this job. They remind me. I used to work with a bloke in accountancy about 50 years ago. And he was, I don't know.
He doesn't want the job, does he?
Well, he'd be great for the job because what his speciality was, this fellow, was agreeing with the bosses.
Okay.
He'd say, yes, Mr. Sedley. Yes, Mr. Bowley. Yeah, I can see him. I'm calling for him.
Sounds like a great sitcom character.
And never mind Kieran McKenna. I'm going for Virginia McKenna.
Oh, okay.
She can bring her lions with her and they can feed the lot of them to the end.
Coco the Clown, Charlie Crowley, Victoria McKenna. Ask your granddad. There's a little, it's in the footnotes. Don't worry about
Paula
it, kids.
Venel, she's good at covering up a lot of mistakes.
Yeah.
Tremendous.
Well, apparently so, yeah. Maybe she could come in and do a job for you. Venels.
Yeah, tremendous.
You could call her Venels.
Venels.
Yeah. Like having Terry back, the late great, wouldn't it? Yeah.
And then people have compared the regime to Roman Abramovich. But there is such a massive difference. Roman Abramovich fired managers, but he gave those managers the perfect conditions to succeed. So therefore, he was within his right to fight. I didn't always agree with it.
Yeah.
But whoever came in at Chelsea under Roman...
were given the tools, yeah.
They were given the tools of the job. They didn't give Poch the tools of the job. They gave him a real bum steer and he absolutely turned it round. I know there are some people that don't agree with me. There's some people that don't like what he did. It wasn't perfect. There were mistakes during the season, but he did a lot better.
Some of the as I said, we would like to hear from you. If you are a Chelsea fan and you think you're pleased that this has come about, some of it may feed into the fact that he is an ex-Tottenham man, and that never played well, did it?
Amongst people who are stupid, no, absolutely. But, because you just...
That never bothered you at all?
Not at all. I knew he was the right bloke for the job. He was the right bloke to work with this young team. He was the right bloke to at least give him another year to take them to the next level. Because, amongst all this dross that they bought, there's some very good players. But I went through, I listed it. I think there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Well, give us your successes then.
Gusto, Palmer, possibly Jackson, Caicedo, overpaid, Maduaki, and Cucurella, who Poch turned round.
Yeah, he did. He changed things for him. Yeah,
Minuses, Mudryk, Badashil, Desarsi, when you had Colwell and Chalobah. All the young players they bought and sent abroad. Fofana, Lavia, Fernandes. I've written Lavia twice because it's such a mistake.
Yeah, you like
Sterling,
Lavia.
Washington, Moreira, Sanchez. Who pays £25 million for Brighton's third goalkeeper? He bought a lot of people from Brighton and a lot of people from, was it Monaco, wherever they were before. Jury's out on Ugo Chukwu. Well done. Chukwuemeka, Cassidy and Kunku, I think it will be brilliant. Yeah. And Petrovic, who is okay.
I think you've got a kind of lump Lavia in there. You've hardly seen him. He's been injured. It's not his fault. Great
due diligence.
Well,
they bought him injured and he stayed injured. Yes. Tremendous. That's a great waste.
That's kind of not his fault,
60 million quid. That's their fault. You don't spend £60 million on an injured player. You don't. Same with Fofana. It's absolute nonsense. It really is nonsense. I feel for Poch, and he He was right
It
to
does
leave.
sound as if that in the end he didn't want to work within that structure and do what he was told.
Now they're going to sell Gallagher and Chalobah probably to cover up the fact they've made so many mistakes. The two best young players. It's just frustration.
Well, there were a few stories earlier this week they're going to give Gallagher a new contract. He's going to sign a new contract.
We'll see, won't we? We'll see. The one thing they've got going for them is they have got some very, very good young players.
Yeah.
And with the right manager, they will get there. I don't have any doubt. You know, despite these people, despite their stupidity and the way they've gone about it, I think they will eventually have a decent team. But boy, they didn't need to do this, and they've turned the club into a laughing stock. It's so embarrassing for Chelsea fans. They have to deal with this. They have to live with this. You know, if I supported another club, I'd be delighted. I'd be delighted that this mess is going on. You need continuity. Why do they think they can reinvent the wheel?
Because
honestly,
they've never really had continuity and they've still won stuff. I mean, it's always been a bit like this. Maybe not to this extreme.
No, not to this
but it's
extreme.
Always been a bit like this.
In general.
There's no way it really
you
should
need it.
work, is there?
No.
But if you throw enough money at it, which they often do, although it's getting harder with
But
PSR.
you can't, can you? And also, coming into a job next year, manager might have a points deduction to deal with. He might have his two best young players.
Could have a
sold
transfer
under him.
ban.
Could have a transfer ban because of the shenanigans under Abramovich. So, that's not exactly an attractive job.
You've been hearing Amorim's favourite, haven't you?
Yeah, that's what I hear, but who knows? There'll be a lot of gossip about it. I mean, for goodness sake, Kieran McKenna's done a great job, but, if you can't see the difference between managing in League One and the Championship and managing Chelsea, you should never be anywhere near anything.
Yeah.
And it's just, they've just got
There's a bit of a...
They're so quiet, you don't see anything. I'd like them to come on the show and justify what they've done. Justify their purchases, justify their policies. I'd love to hear from these two blokes, Winstanley and Stewart. You never hear from them, but they're very good at blaming other people.
OK, well, if Winstanley and Stewart are in their cars today...
Yeah, please come on.
We would love to hear from you. You can explain the situation. You can talk him down. Good luck with that. But as we said, we want to hear from Chelsea fans who are pleased that this decision has been made. We'll take some of your calls at 1:30 and you and Andy can have a constructive chat around the subject. You can tell us why you think he's wrong and why Pochettino was wrong for the job. 03717 22 3344 talksport.com, text 81089, tweet TSH and J. With Paul Avenel's currently topping Andy's list. He's building an alternative managerial lineup. So if you want to add to that,
I feel sorry for whoever gets the job, because do they honestly think, these people, that Chelsea can challenge City and Arsenal next season? Do they honestly think that?
Because you're starting to rebuild from scratch again.
Yeah,
you lost a bit of momentum.
Deluded.
Right. Okay, feel better for that?
Well, a little bit, but not really, because all the momentum gained from being the team that took the fourth most points. They would have finished fourth if the season had started on Boxing Day. All that momentum's lost now.
Yeah.
All gone. Pathetic.
Because you start with a new coaching staff. Well, there we are.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.